fashion, movie reviews, and more. So this is an exciting show today. You know why it's exciting? Because we were going to be on the roof, and then all of a sudden we couldn't be on the roof because it's too noisy, but it's beautiful at the same time. However, we live in this world where you got to be able to adjust, adapt to the new normal. So the fun thing about this, we have this strange guy named Charles Campbell. Now I'm talking about Vince. He just drives up here with his big, huge dog. He isn't anybody of any importance, anything like that, but we like him anyhow. All right, so Vince, tell us who you are, why you're here, because it's good to see you back.
I'm sorry, why I'm the white trash of Laguna Beach, California.
Exactly.
I did roll up in my 200-pound dog out there, but I am a cosmetic chemist and a perfumer. I've been doing it for 25 plus years, so on the sidelines of doing nothing, just been developing hair care and skin care and personal care products for celebrities, doctors, retailers, and brands for the last 25 years while I was doing nothing
Exactly.
else. That's right.
With that certified nose.
That's correct. Yeah, also a perfumer, certified nose. It means I develop fragrances and fine fragrances.
And then, so the other thing about this, so Charles Campbell, let's talk about who you are, Mr. B-Boy. You do a lot of stuff, and I love following you because you get me motivated with stuff. Talk about that.
So my name is Charles Campbell, also known as Cyberchuck 2.0 of Team Cyber Yoga. So what I'm known for is the last year consistently, almost every day, I do motivation, inspirational videos to get people's day started right. So I'm known for let's get this day started right, because it's a blueprint for how you get your day started. So I like to share my day with people, how I get it started, and with the intent to help other people be motivated.
And to be motivated because a lot of people are suffering from anxiety, depression, you name it out there, whether they acknowledge it or not. Yeah. So the interesting thing about this, never mind Terri, stop. So let's go over here because this is important. You got something that you bought, but talk about Scosche because you guys have been making products for a long time.
Yeah.
You're out of Oxnard.
Yeah, so we're out of Oxnard. Scosche is an American company. It's run by a family and started by Roger Elves out of Moore Park, California. And we're now going on 42 years of business, and they've been doing it very well. And this year, I think what caught your attention was a lot of our health and fitness products that we came to market with. The thing I'm holding in my hand is a HEPA filter by Scosche. Kind of meant for your car or a small space, but it's really awesome. It eliminates any kind of odor, up to 95.5 airborne particulates. So any pet dander, odor, smoke, all that stuff. It's awesome. So if you don't have them for your car or for your house, these are perfect, especially in the times we're living in right now. With we're wearing masks, we're conscious about what we're breathing, and let's go away from the other stuff such as.
And it's perfect for a room like this, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe a slightly smaller room, but yeah, a room this big would be perfect. It would probably take about 20 or 30 minutes to clear the air out in here, any kind of odor. So it works really well.
And Terri, so let's talk about you. Just getting back now, we're not going to talk.
I did something interesting yesterday. You can ask about that. I filmed a music video. I'm the lead in the video.
And you do look good today. I have to say that.
Thank you.
You look really, really good.
Thank you.
If so, we were talking about this, Vince. It's one of those things where
he likes to give me shit.
Right. I do. But it's one of those things where
keeps on giving.
You're that woman, and then all of a sudden you got people reaching out and doing things, but you want to be respected as a woman, right? And
yes.
You look really good today. So I would say this. Can I get your name and your number? I'd love to give you a call or something like that. That's what I would normally do because you look good today.
And I want to know if you have a brother. You got to keep it real or forget it.
Exactly.
I actually do have a brother, but I think he's taken. So
whatever.
Anyway.
That's never stopped me before.
But anyway, do you want to hear about what I did yesterday?
Not yet. No, we're going to talk about Vince right now. So Vince, my pursuit of beauty. So I did remember last time I saw you, I read it 2.5 times. So I finished it. So it's officially 3 times now.
The gift that keeps on giving for bathroom reading. Yeah.
You know why? Because there's so much information in here. That's why. And it's one of those things where, what book am I going to read now? Because I'm getting like 3 books sent to me a week. Mm-hmm. But I keep going back to this because it's interesting in what you're creating. Not only that, but how you started. Tell the audience how you started and why was it important of what you're doing. Well, it's about the visualization too, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's always kind of an embarrassing story to say. I was just telling Charles outside that I really started when I was like 6 or 7 years old. I got to give full credit to The Young and the Restless, which is embarrassing to say, but it was a soap opera, and I watched it growing up with my grandmother, and they had a fictitious cosmetic company on the line called Jabot, on the show, and that's where I got the idea from. And I just was fascinated with it, from making products and how you could make people feel better about themselves, look better, and just really with all kind of superficial at the first point, but being 6 or 7 years old, it resonated with me, and I never deviated from that plan from day one, which is really bizarre. And then unfortunately, Dynasty came out, the Aaron Spelling show in 1981, and that really put the final nail in my coffin, because that was all about like stuff and money and power and entrepreneurship. So between that and Young and the Restless, 2 TV shows actually steered my career. So I always, that's how I ended up actually being buddies with Tori Spelling. We're friends now because I met with her years ago after her father had passed, and I said, your father literally is responsible for my career, and she actually wrote a blurb in my book there on the back. So we, so really they get full credit for my for my career, which is pretty funny.
But isn't that interesting, because it's one of those things where you know, coming from New Jersey, that musical family, first of all, I love how you got into college. But second of all, it's about the things that you created. I really do think of you just being that visual person and just going for it. And then we all have roadblocks, though, no matter what we're doing. We all became those things. But that doesn't mean it was easy.
Why did I ignore them?
Well, yeah. You ignore them, and then you tell them what you want to have done, right?
Right. If I can. Yeah.
Well.
It doesn't always come out the way you want it, but I do ignore them pretty much.
Well, we have to.
Yeah.
What do we call it? White noise sometimes?
Yeah. I remember even, I still to this day, I'll be 50 years old in a couple of years. I've never been employed in my life by anybody. I've been self-employed since I was 15 years old, literally. And I've been, for fun sometimes, I've gone on interviews when things are getting really tough. It's always feast or famine. I was many times in my career was doing horrible, and I had to go out, I thought, get a real job. And I go have these interviews, and I really didn't even, it wasn't even like a joke. I didn't comprehend what was even happening. They would say, blah, 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 oh, where we start, you'll be here at 8 o'clock. I'm like, well, I'll be there like around 9:30. And I'm like, well, you got to wear a tie. Well, I don't wear a tie. So I wasn't even like being a smart. I didn't even understand what was even happening. So I think you're either wired entrepreneurial or you're not. I mean, you can certainly learn things, but I just was not able to even I'm just not wired that way to even to take the. I'm a phenomenal collaborator. I love working with people. I great working with people, but I just can't be kind of told to be here at 8:30 every single day. I don't understand what's happening.
I don't understand it either. I think it's too. I mean, I'm structured, but I'm not structured. I like to do things on my own time.
Right.
So I mean, I'm structured. I always show up on time, but I'm just saying that when I'm trying to do a project or work, I mean, I don't clocking into a time clock and having to do things on everybody else's schedule. I totally agree. I relate to that.
Yeah.
See, and I'm the black guy who's not really black. I'm always like an hour and a half early.
Yeah, that's like black dyslexic.
Well, exactly. I never thought of it.
You're the only one I ever met.
That's a really good one. But you know why? Because I'm looking at whatever problems can go wrong and how you can correct the best way possible.
You're a problem solver.
Well, yeah, even when I don't want to do it. But, so now we have more people like Carl who, I don't have to worry about setting things up. And I'm like, I should be helping doing this. No, he knows what he's doing. And that's not easy sometimes. But you got to let certain people just do their thing. Leave them alone, let them do the things, and then you'll come out looking good.
Right.
Or as you would say, smelling.
Yeah, and there's a trillion things that I don't know how to do, and I don't do them. Like I said, I try and work people that are better at them than I am. I have a certain skill set that I'm good at, and that's what I do, and I leave the rest to everybody else if I can.
So Auggie, when we last spoke, it was during CES, and I found you fascinating. I love the products. Talk about the history of what Scosche has developed, because it started as a car accessories, and they still are, right?
Yeah, it's a really cool story. So Roger Elves started this company about 42 years ago, and he wrote a book called The Encyclopedia of Auto Sound, which was like a do-it-yourself guide on how to install a car stereo. And you guys are all probably old enough in the room where back in the old days, the brand new cars off the lot had horrible stereo. It was horrible. You had to take it straight to the car shop, get the stereo put in, better stereo systems. You guys remember?
Yeah, I had an Alpine in my Volkswagen.
Oh, those are great.
I had a Volkswagen convertible in high school, like a '67. I had an Alpine radio in there because my dad's like, my dad got it for Christmas because I was spoiled that way, I guess. But anyway,
we all had to do that, and we all got the same exact alarm with the whoop.
Yeah.
Had the 5 cycles. So you had to get the stereo upgrade to your point.
Absolutely. Everyone did it.
I can't believe I remember the Alpine stereo, and it would come out of it.
Or Kenwood, right? It was either or.
I had the Kenwood.
You pull it out and you put it in your trunk so it would get stolen.
Yep.
Yeah, the faceplate came off.
Yeah.
I guess we're all too old. Is what it comes down to. Right.
But the funny thing about that is it's interesting how everything has progressed, right?
Yes. So it was all 12-volt car audio stuff. And he kind of put together, Roger did, he put together kits where everything was included. Before, if you wanted to buy a kit to do it yourself, you had to buy every single cable, every single connector piece. So he kind of put it together as a bundle and said, hey, you want to put your own stereo together? Here you go, have at it. Everything's ready for you. So time progressed and the company did really well. In 1992, the older son came on board, Cass Elves, and that was right about when consumer technology, consumer electronics kind of blew up. And we had this little case that went on your visor for CDs, back when we used to listen to CDs.
Yeah.
So that kind of to put our foot in the door for mass merchants. So take a guess. We're in all national retail, all the big guys. So that kind of got our foot in, along with the explosion of consumer electronics and cell phones. We kind of came to the marketplace with very good consumer goods that are reliable and feel good and have good user experience. So anytime you look at one of my stuff, look at my stuff, it's like sturdy and it's well built. It's not like a knockoff. So even the packaging, you guys want to pass it around, the packaging, and this is the HEPA filter here. Three-stage filter, and like we were talking about, Brian.
It's like an Alexa.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. If you keep it in your car, I just keep it in my car, and as soon as I turn on my car, it automatically turns on and starts filtering the air. The reason why I have it in my car is because my daughter hates the smell of leather, and I have leather seats. So sometimes just for her to get in my car, she's like, Dad, I don't want to get in your car. Don't worry, and I'll start the HEPA filter.
Well, you guys all know my 200-pound dog, so this is the one for her for sure.
Oh yeah, this is great.
Well, the thing about that is you just go like this, you swipe it, and it's just nice.
And it's also hands-free, so that's also important nowadays when you don't want to be touching the world, then coming home and touching your stuff. So just swipe once across, it turns on. There's two sides.
So Terri has allergies.
I have allergies and asthma, so that's really good for me. And it's like, right now it's like really difficult because every time I sneeze, everybody looks at me funny. But anyway, it's like,
So
you get tackled to the ground.
Yeah, they're like, So I've struggled with allergies and asthma my whole life, and I usually sleep with a humidifier because the humidifier actually helps your skin too. If people don't really know, because the moisture in the air keeps you young. So that's a big tip out there. But besides that, it's just really important for me to have my the air pure, so I don't, especially now that I'm not running out sneezing and sniffling.
Well, we have the same setup at our house as you do, where we have a humidifier, then we have a big giant HEPA filter, and we got that one, and I said it in the podcast with Brian before, when we had the fires. Like our house at home smelled like so bad. My wife's like, I'm over it. Like I'm putting one in every room, so we had big ones in every room, and I was skeptical. Like, no, those things aren't going to work. Why'd you buy them? They're so expensive. It wasn't our brand, by the way, it was another brand, but they worked. And when we came out with our own line, I was like, right on. This is so cool, because now in my car, in my house, they're everywhere. And once you start using it once, you kind of use them forever, especially like you, where you have sinus.
Well, that's good too, because sometimes I'm a gym rat, so sometimes my car smells like the gym.
Right.
Well,
So
I have stinky wetsuits. Like a stinky wetsuit smells like mildews. They stink horribly. You're mess with wetsuits stink. And a lot of times I'll surf before work, and that thing just sits in my car and just stinks. It gets worse and worse. But with this,
it gets rid of the gym smell.
Yeah.
And then, so you've been selling out of these things, right?
Yeah, so our first
Why
batches,
is that?
because they were so popular, just in this day and age, we're concerned about what we're breathing, we're concerned about what we're touching, we're concerned about who we're even within a room, right? We want to be with responsible humans. So that's the way I feel, at least. So I think this category is growing tremendously.
That's it, we're all out.
So Vince, since you're only 23 years old, and you got that nose, how important is this for you, not only your car, but what you do?
Very. That's why I'm already eyeballing it. And not only that, with this virus, I've been scared to death just as what I do for a living, because I'm a certified nose and a perfumer. So again, I personally was lucky enough I haven't gotten COVID yet. I hope I don't never do. But I was just so afraid of losing my scent. Because that's a big side effect. My career is pretty much over. If that happens. So it's like that. So anything like that would be phenomenal for me and my life and my lab and all that kind of stuff. We're always trying to filter and keep cleaning. And I do have a very large animal, and she has 3 spa dates a week, and she's better maintained than I am. And she never smelled, but but it's still a 200-pound animal that I spend my life with. And she's I mentioned to you guys before, she works with the Wounded Warrior Project with me, so we literally go the whole entire world together, and she's always with me. And this is, at the end of the day, it's still an animal, and you want to have your car clean, your house clean, and I have an R&D and OTC lab, so that's got to stay clean. And so the more, I'm all for it for sure.
And then, so Charles, when you're meditating, it is important because it's breathing in, right?
Yeah. So there's a lot of like breath work and breathing. A lot of my meditation will be outdoors, so air out there. But yeah, definitely at home. I have a cat, so
There you go.
yeah. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, yeah, perfect. The cat.
Yeah, we have a cat too, and it works perfect on the kitty litter. It's pretty awesome.
Does it help for? I'm allergic. I'm definitely allergic to cats. So where can I come to your house?
No, it does work because I'm allergic to a cat too, but I tough it out. But you know what messes me up is as soon as it goes to the bathroom, that's when like it just affects me.
Well, it's the dandruff I'm allergic to. It's not the hair. That's what my allergy doctor has told me. So like the dandruff gets in the carpet and stuff. So I don't do well with cats.
Yeah, so this in your life, I mean, you at least have to try it, right?
Yeah.
Because from what I'm hearing from you,
Well, no, I just need for my allergies in general because I have hay fever.
you're perfect for one of our HIPAA filters.
Talk about, so I'm always concerned about studios and things like that. You have something, is it the UVL light?
No, we don't. What we do have is a magic fogger, and what it does is it sprays a fine mist, so it kills any type of bacteria. So again, going with what we're breathing, if you were going to have a group like this in a room, you can actually kill all the bacteria in the room before anyone comes in, deodorize everything in your space, and you don't have to worry about any nasty chemicals because it's 100% organic. You can put it on your clothes; it won't stain. You don't have to have everyone go out of the room if you're going to clean a room.
It can fall like on computers and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't matter.
Wipe it down. All it is, guys, it's a saltwater solution with electrolysis. So it's 100% organic. The guy who invented it gargles with it. I know it's kind of gross, but it's completely safe to use. Is what I'm trying to get to. So things like this are becoming more and more popular, right? We don't want nasty chemicals. We want stuff that's organic. We want stuff that's safe for us. We want to know what we're breathing, and we also want to disinfect stuff, especially right now with all the COVID scared and the second wave and all this.
See, Vince, I didn't even think about this. I mean, if you ever lost your, I didn't think about that until you just said that.
I was freaking out when the virus came out in 2019, and that was like the first thing about loss of scent. I was like, oh my god, if I get this, it's over. So I was like just freaking out the whole time, making sure I was like just trying to be extra careful and just being responsible. Like if you're saying, just trying to be overly responsible. But it was definitely it's still a fear of mine. With this new variant going around, I'm still being extra. My scent, or is it forever? Is it just for a couple months? We don't even know yet, right? It's like
I've had several friends that had COVID and they all got their scent back, but I mean I don't know it affects everybody differently. So everybody's different.
Right. Yeah.
But talk about this because you said when we last spoke with you, it took you 20 years to get your nose certified, right?
Right.
It could be wiped out in a day, right?
Yeah, with this kind of virus, yeah, it can be. And I was just telling Charles outside earlier that the education never ends because there's always new ways to put things together. There's always new technology. There's always new essential oils to be found. And I always equate it very, very similar to sommelier for wine. And there's thousands and thousands and thousands of blends of wine, right? And it really is the same thing. To be a sommelier, the education never ever stops. You can never drink every single wine that's out there or is available. And same thing with fine fragrances. They're building them. There's just so many different blends. You can do like one fragrance, and just one we could have 30, 40, 50 oils just in that one fragrance. Wow. So you have to find all those balances and what to work with. And the library of the fragrances. So that's been a real just like behind the scenes in my own head, like freaking out. If I get this friggin' COVID thing, I lose my scent. This is gonna be a problem.
Well, and so the important thing about that is going back to this because they didn't know. Scosche didn't know they were going to develop. This is something that kind of happened, right?
Yeah, this was kind of something that developed with what's going on in the world, right? So the Alves, the guys who own the family that owns Scosche, they're really forward thinking. They're always thinking ahead of the game. So it's pretty magical to see them work. So.
What's the website?
Scosche.com, and the retail on this is about $99.
That's not bad at all.
No, and I really like it because I love the case, first of all. Yeah. Because it's a sturdy case.
So where do you think, but that goes in the car, where does it actually physically go in the automobile? Or does that matter?
Well, that's the cool thing about it. It was actually engineered to fit in like where your drinks go. So usually most cars have two drink holders. So in one of the drink holders, I actually put mine in the back. Yeah, I put the seat back and there's a drink holder there. That way it's away from me. I don't have to worry about it. I get in the car, I turn on.
You probably could put it in the side door too, yeah. Probably.
Yeah, that's where I started, in the side door, because I wanted my cup holders. But then I'm like, I'll put it in the back, so I can just reach back and
sure, okay.
Drive around.
And then so the other one you sold out on that one too, right?
Yeah, it went by fast.
So that was your surprise one of last year, right?
That's right.
Because when I talked to him last year, I was like, I want this. And this was during the CES show, Consumer Electronics Show. That's why I love of technology and things like this, because a lot of people don't even know about these brands. And by the time I talked to you, it was gone.
Yeah, and Scosche as a brand is huge. It's massive. It's like one of those companies that people see it all the time, but they're not necessarily aware of us until they go, oh, Scosche. You start reminding them where we are. They're like, okay, I've seen you when I go into Target or Walmart or Costco or whatever national or mass merchant store they go into. We're in it, so we're out there.
Charles, talk about how you came about once you got out of the military, and then where you are now with Team Cyber Yoga and Cybertruck 2.0 and everything like that.
In terms of what coming out of the military, right?
Once you left that world and then hooking up with Lamont.
Okay, so once I got out, it was just a real rough, dark road for me. I battled a lot of addiction, a lot of alcoholism through my whole time once I got out, and I was actually in Dallas, Texas, right when COVID was starting. I was in my townhome all by myself, just really drinking myself into darker places. Lamont reached out to me and started talking to me and got me to come out here. And once I saw that there was hope, that there was light, that there was something more than what I was doing, which was just being by myself, I made the decision to come out here. And once I've been out here, we've been pushing the Team Cyber Yoga movement, which is all about inspiring, which he does through movement. He has the most amazing poses and pictures and stuff.
Well, you do too. I've been seeing more poses that I didn't know that you could do. I mean, I saw one. No, I'm fascinated by this. I saw one, and you had your hands spread out, and you're on the top of your head. I'm like, I've not seen this.
It's not like the Dirty Sanchez.
No,
that's not it.
No. It was interesting. I was like, how is he doing this? And I keep going back to your story.
Well, you gotta figure. I have Lamont as my inspiration and someone to look to, and he's just world class at what he does with all his poses and stuff. And we started back in the 90s. So Lamont and I met back in 97, and we actually were roommates back then, and we used to break dance, and sometimes we would be at parties 3 times a week. So I started back then, and I fell off for quite a bit of time in my life. But Lamont continued it. So coming right back was real easy because I remember those ways, and I have him to inspire me daily. So we have our own little chats where every single morning we're checking in. Hey, good morning, love you guys, sending energy. So beyond my videos that I'm doing to try to inspire people, we have our own internal group where we're inspiring each other. So
and it's getting bigger too.
Yeah. So we have other members. We have one that's in Montreal. We have one that's in Philadelphia, and we have others that are in Orange County. So yeah, it's a family. And on Sundays we have something called Cyber Church, where on Sunday we all come together and we talk about what happened during the week. And so it's a place for us to to put out there what we went through and just support one another. So it's great.
I like that. So Terri, you were last in.
What?
She last was.
So all right, now it's your turn.
Okay.
You were spearheading bears yesterday.
I went to Alaska and I did the bear.
Yeah, see how happy
yes.
she is.
No, because I needed I needed a vacation. I needed to be with nature. So we went. We took a 2-hour plane from Anchorage to the bear camp, and we spent the day with bears, and it was awesome because we watched some salmon fish, and the bears don't give a shit. They don't care about the humans.
Well, at least you weren't doing like a Sarah Palin and shooting them from the plane.
No,
that was good.
We did take one of those small planes you land on the water, so that was pretty awesome.
She did a docu. You did. She just shoot them from the plane. That was the only difference. Yeah, she wanted to be one with nature.
We just went to go to watch them, and then we did a day of jet skiing where we went to Whittier.
Was it fun?
And yeah, it was great. It was a 2-hour jet ski out to the glaciers and the waterfalls, and it was amazing. So yeah, I had a great trip with my girlfriend Karen. We ate king crab, king salmon. They have great IPA beers there. It was one of those trips that I didn't know that I wanted to go there until I got there, because this was one of my girlfriend's bucket lists, and she's like, I just always see the bears, and I'm like, you want to go? I'm like, I don't know nothing else. I mean, I do have other things else to do, but I needed a vacation.
Yes, I've never heard a bad thing about Alaska. I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about Alaska.
And you're totally right. I think it's not really on the people's radar.
No.
Same thing with me. My friend held a gun to my head to go, and it was 2 weeks. It was unbelievable. I loved it. And just was like, oh, you want to go on Alaska? I'm like, cruise. Why don't we go to Caribbean? And then I went on Alaska one, and it was life changing. It was unbelievable.
Wait a minute. So was this on the plane trip?
What's that?
Going to Alaska, is that plane trip?
No, a different one. I had so many plane trips, but no, this is a different. This one actually was normal. Yeah.
All right,
But I will tell you something fun though about Alaska. So I don't know how far you went up, but I did I kind of turned mine into a business trip, and I started off in Anchorage and Seward, which is kind of the whole touristy area. But I did go about an hour north of Fairbanks, which is like way up there. And when I got off the little plane, it was like a puddle jumper I took up there. Like, you're so high up, it's like you're like now like there's no vegetation left and the whole thing. And we actually had a retailer that actually had an office up there, but that's why I went there. And long story short, it was like one of the coolest things I ever experienced because I didn't know what it was at the time, but when I got off the plane, my equilibrium was off. I kind of felt dizzy. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why am I so like off? And I asked the pilot, he came out, he goes, no. So you're actually where I was at. You're so high up on the earth that the sky was always in front of you. So it was like being in a snow globe. So the sky wasn't here. The sky was here. So you always were looking at the curvature of the earth.
Oh wow!
So you're walking around. And you're like, what? And you think it would be like a big deal, but you're walking into the sky rather than it being above your head. Wow. So that was the thing I'll just never forget. It just was like really remarkable and so unique and different. And then you're there like 5 a.m. and the sun's like in your eyes. Like, what the hell? These people sleep up here. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, yeah, the sun doesn't go down until midnight, you know.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't get to go to Fairbanks. I want to go back. That will be another trip. But you know, I went there mostly to go to the bear camp and then to do the jet skiing, and then we hung out in Anchorage and had great food and great IPAs, and then. Now I'm back.
Great IPAs. That was a
the IPA beers.
Trip, right.
The beers are really good, and I didn't realize that Alaska is known for their IPA breweries. I had no idea until I got there. So things I learned.
You sure you weren't in Wisconsin? You sure you weren't in Wisconsin?
Well, no, I was in Alaska.
Oh.
I mean, that's something that I was educated about when I got there about their beer. But and then yesterday, as I mentioned before, I'm playing the lead role in a rock video by Wicked Kid Star. They're coming out with a new album.
She's so excited.
I am excited. It was fun. It was a blast.
She actually did a good job. I was actually impressed by when she went on stage because I was like, how'd she before I left for Alaska. They played at the Whiskey A Go-Go and I got to introduce the band. But yesterday we filmed the new video for their new album. So, and there's a spicy end to it. I'm not going to ruin it, and I don't know the release of the album or the video yet. That is to be announced. But we did it yesterday at a studio, Tony Garcia's studio across from all the studios. It was a fun day, and I'm excited, Brian.
We're all excited now.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So you got me on this one. You actually took a safe plane trip.
Safe?
I did. Yeah.
All right. So tell one of the ones that wasn't safe when on your way. Was it to Alaska? That one too?
I had a. I'm a big kind of movie fan like you are, so I always have like movies in my head, and it's kind of plays into the story. That's why I'm saying it. So I had a little puddle jumper plane from Santa Fe, New Mexico to Aspen. It was for Christmas. I was going to see some friends there in Aspen, and it just was like left Santa Fe, New Mexico, just like gorgeous, beautiful day. It was the 23rd of December, and then the trip into Aspen is only like an hour and a half, not barely, and just like life changed like in a matter of like 25 minutes in. And on the way back down into Aspen, we just were in like in a Holocaust blizzard. It just turned into just nothing, and we were only like on I call it like the Buddy Holly plane. It just was like a 6-seater, of like termites holding hands. And the pilot like started the thing with the thing, and so I'm just like, and we're getting ready to try to start landing, and the plane is just being up 100 feet, down 100 feet, 100 feet to level. We knew we were dead. It was over. I knew there's no way we're getting out of this. And finally, we just took like a downward spiral, spin. It wasn't a spin. It was a flat, kind of dive. And or you like see in a movie, your body's kicked back to the seat. You can't move your head, and everybody is screaming. And the first thing that's popped in my head, and I don't know why, I broke the miles an hour in a downward spin. I was like, nobody gets to eat me. Oh, yeah. And that's all I said. And I was like, and they're laughing. They're like, what are you talking about? We're not going to eat you. I was like, well, you made you think, and started laughing. So it's like,
that's great.
That's kind of how I roll.
You have to make sure you go to the bathroom before you get on those planes, because this was a 2-hour plane to Dallas.
Oh yeah, you can't.
Yeah, well, it was. What was kind of funny? It's a one late. There was another family with us. It was like the 4 of them, and then me and my girlfriend. And the wife had to go in the back, and she went in the back, and we just all like turned her because she couldn't hold it anymore.
I know. It's like being on a bus. That's the worst.
So and then it became funny because the pilot's like, I have a cup, I have a plastic bag. I mean, like, what do you do? Like, we had like because she had drinking too much coffee. Because we go early in the morning. She's like, I just drank too much coffee, but we made a joke of it. We made it funny. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I make sure if you do one of those jumper puddles,
yeah.
Go to the
when a pilot's on the runway starting your plane with pull the thing down. That's only like a couple times I had that in my life. That was like scary.
I've been on a puddle jumper where the pilot was like 15 years old in Costa Rica. Oh, you're the pilot? Like a little guy this big. Like,
oh my god. Yeah, I got my license last week.
The whole time and he's staring, you can barely look over. He's like, that's a pilot.
I got my license last week.
When we were trying to leave though to get on the back on the plane, this is kind of a funny story. There was these 2 baby cubs that were running because people like there's a little glamping area where the bears came through the bear park, and we had to go to bear school because you have to learn how to
not get eaten.
Not to get not to respect the bear. So when a bear comes up to you, you step back 2 feet, and if they approach you, you step back 2 feet and you respect them, and then you
run your ass off.
Then they think I'm thinking right now, but they know that you're not a threat because they really don't care about you anyway. So, but what's funny is these 2 cubs come running through the bear camp, and then they were like in front of the planes, and we kind of had to wait till the little bears came in, and the mama bear came and like took off of them, but we had to delay our fight a little bit because the bears
ran away.
The bears were blocking the plane.
Yeah, they don't see that too often.
Yep.
So going back to this for a minute, because I'm curious. So can you have this on a small plane too? Would it work?
I don't see why it wouldn't. I don't know if the airline would let you, but I mean, you can plug it in with your because it just has a USB, right? So most planes have a USB.
I think we find it take on a plane. I mean,
there's a little hum to it, because there's a fan.
Why would there be a problem?
Well, see, I'm always thinking of the places that need them that it may not have been in yet. That's why.
I think most planes have a big filter already.
Yeah, they do.
It'd be great for when I did long, like cross the world, like in first class, and when you're in the pod thing, put that in your little pod. That'd be so awesome that we would breathe that in all the time instead.
Yeah, a little dome.
Yeah.
What do you mean, really?
What else you guys have coming down the pipeline?
Oh, we have a lot of stuff. So Scosche is the
for those people who have iPhones.
Yeah, so what we're known for, our bread and butter, we are the #1 mount brand in the world. Definitely in the United States, and that's via NPD data, not just us bragging about it, but it is certified that we are the #1 mount brand in the United States. And I will say the world, because if you're #1 in the United States, we're #1 in the world. We're in Europe, we're in Asia, we're in Africa, we're in everywhere, Latin America, South America. So it's pretty cool to work for a company that started in a garage 40 years ago and now is this big multinational, I guess is the word.
Is there a filter to change, by the way?
Yeah, there's a filter to change on this guy, 3.5 millimeter. It comes with one already in the box, and you can buy additional as you need them.
How often do you change them?
Depends on use, maybe with your dog.
Yeah.
Maybe 15 minutes.
Every 4 days.
Because your dog is huge. But I'm joking, of course. But I don't know, 15, 20 minutes in your car. So it doesn't matter the size of the dog, you just the space, right?
Right.
So it's made for a car, small space, be perfect for someone like you as a dog. Or someone who's a smoker, reads in their car a lot, or works out of their cars. Or an Uber driver, just like your friend. Uber driver, Lyft driver.
Never know who you're gonna pick up. Get rid of her. She had a bad night.
How would that work with essential oils? Say you have essential oils in the house, and you wanted that to clear. Like I have a cat in the house, right? So to take all that out. But do you have something that's giving essential oils? Would that take that away as well?
I'm not sure. I still smell. We have them both running simultaneously, so maybe it's a mute point. But because we have our HEPA filter running at night, and we also have the humidifier at night, and they still smell like we have eucalyptus. I can still smell it. But that might be because they're both on. Maybe if the eucalyptus stopped and we just kept the HEPA, it might eliminate the odor for sure. Just haven't tried it. That's a good one though. I'll have to try that when I get home.
iPhone holder cases.
Okay, so
all you people have iPhones.
So back to my spiel. So we're the #1 mount brand in the world. We make over 400 different types of mounts right now. We have every single option available. Bicycle mounts, car mounts, motorcycle mounts, ATV, boats, for anything you can think of. One of the things that we've come to market with is a really nice composite bike mount that kind of is a vice grip, where you just put your phone in and you grip it in, and it's cool because it goes right onto the stem of the bicycle. So you can either have it as a mount, or you can take it off the mount and put it directly onto the frame, which is the stem of the bike, which is kind of where the neck is. Unscrew that, then screw it in, and it's part of the bicycle itself. I know it doesn't seem very exciting to you guys, but for us it is. It's pretty cool because with COVID, bike sales have gone through the roof. And every accessory with bikes have also gone through the roof. So this is just another mount that we brought to market, which is very nice, stable, and sturdy. The second thing we have is a bike mount for Apple Watch users. So you have this beautiful Apple Watch screen that you can only wear on your wrist, or if you're a guy like me, I only wear it to tell the time when I'm out surfing or I'm in the water. Then other than that, I rely on my phone for the time, right? But that's such a beautiful screen, so we've come up with this like really cool silicone mount that you can wrap your iWatch around the mount, and it goes on your bike. So now when you're downhill bicycling, you don't have to look at your watch for the time or for metrics, because we also make heart rate monitors. So if you're tracking your heart rate, you can actually just look down and not have to take your hand off off the handlebars. It becomes a safety issue. And plus, it's just another nice expensive screen of either your Apple Watch or your Android smartwatch. So any smartwatch can now be used on your bicycle. So for me, it's cool because it's another place that I get to use my Apple Watch other than when I'm in the water. Does that make sense? Because I don't wear watches, but I did get one as a gift, and I do use it wherever I can. So if I surf before work and I have to be in the office at a certain time, I wear it for sure. But this just gives me another opportunity to use that nice, beautiful screen when I ride my bicycle, and everyone else.
And then you have cases too, right?
We do not make cases, but we do make tons of mounts for cell phones. So Android, Apple, it doesn't matter, any size phone. So any mobile device, we make something for it, whether it's to charge it or whether it's to mount it somewhere. So we have mounts for every occasion. So even things that you don't think about, maybe in the garage, we have a suction cup one where you can put it on your car if you're doing it do it yourself, like changing the alternator. Or maybe you're in the kitchen and following a recipe on YouTube. You can use mounts for that too. So not just in the car. Whenever I'm doing trainings and I'm training sales staff, I always tell them, hey guys, think outside the box. Don't just think in the car. Or, bicycles, kitchens, bathrooms, garage, anywhere you go. Even if you're traveling, I always have a vet mount in my toiletry bag because I like to use it as a kickstand when I'm watching a movie on my phone, or if I'm in a rental car. It's just a very affordable solution, $10, $12 for a little vet mount. And I can use it anywhere in any country, any phone, any car.
Vince, when you're being that chemist that you are and you're testing and smelling different things, are you usually recording things on your phone, or you just put your phone down? Or do you record some of the things that you're doing?
No, actually I don't. It stays kind of in my head. I have music playing and stuff just to keep myself, active, but I don't really record anything. We have, of course, formulations. Once I decide, what percentages are going to be or blends or that, we record it into a formulation, but not actually like into a phone and that kind of thing. It's all kind of like paper formulations, yeah.
When you think back to now, when you were...
Think back to now, that's right now, it's still right now.
Well, true. Well, when you think back to now...
Or you mean think back to later? I think back to right now, it's still now.
What I was thinking I'm thinking back of Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. Would you have done anything different with what you created for him? At that point, would you since time has passed?
Yes, because I would actually, because that one of the fragrances that did very, very well when it came out, but it didn't do well like in the long run. It's still on the market now. For example, I worked on Jennifer Lopez as one of her fragrances, and it's still selling like one of the best fragrances of all time. It's still being sold. But with he was very specific. It was being launched for Foot Locker specifically. So they wanted things, and I was very, very beginning of my career. I was like 21 years old, and I had just started, so I couldn't like say a lot. I had to kind of more keep my mouth shut. And they wanted like sweat notes and these sports notes, kind of like almost kind of like Axe body spray is now. And the Axe is not an unpleasant smell, but it's very, very masculine. It's very kind of teenagers. Like if you happen to have teenage boys, everyone's got teenage boys. Like oh, they're wearing Axe. You smell like that smell. So that's what I would do differently. I wouldn't like necessarily blend it the way that he wanted it, because it didn't have good longevity by doing it that way.
So what do you think to where you are now? What are you doing different for the Judy Garland Estate?
Well, first of all, choosing clients that are passed away that can't give me their opinion. That's number one. No,
True.
No, it's actually been a million times better because both her daughters, Liza Minnelli, Lorna Luff, and her son Joey Luff, they're all involved in the process. So they've been amazing to try and they've been able to tell me what her mother used to wear, what she didn't wear, what she used to like, what she didn't like. Judy even had their own rose, so we incorporated the Judy Garland rose into their fragrance. So this has been phenomenal because I get all the backstories, of an icon and of a legend, and be able to develop the fragrance around her, actually what her family memories are. So it's actually a lot harder than having the icon alive because you can't communicate with them. So it's been challenging, but I want to, and also we're making it unisex. As you probably know, Judy Garland has got a massive gay male following. So and also women, and of course straight men as well. But really the market is the gay male market and women in general. So the fragrance has to be unisex, which also is another big challenge because we, as we're going through the development process, we can say, okay, like these are beautiful additions that we have, but they're leaning too feminine or leaning too masculine. Like you as a straight guy wouldn't wear it, me the gay guy might wear it, and then and Charles is a gay guy. I'm just kidding. Charles is a straight guy. So I'm just busting his balls. But it's subject to everybody. But you have to kind of find that sweet spot for gay men, straight men, and women. So it's kind of it's really hard to do it that way.
And then so this is set up for next year for her birthday.
For her birthday, her 100th birthday is June 22nd, June 10th, 2022. Yep. So it's coming out in about 8 months, right?
Yeah, and it's a lot of work that goes into it. I can only imagine. I mean, I would love to be that fly on the wall, just how you're creating that and what goes into it. I can only imagine because you're the one that knows, right?
Yeah, it's very secretive, and she's a big, massive, gigantic legend name. It's not like it's not a C or a D-list celebrity. This is a major icon. So we're taking it like really seriously and carefully, and making sure we protect her body of work and her legacy and her image, and that nothing is being done improperly. Yeah.
Charles, social media links for everybody, and what do you got coming up?
Social media links at Cyberchuck 2.0 on Instagram and on TikTok, and at Team Cyber Yoga on Instagram. And anything coming up, we're just collabing and talking every day, just trying to figure out different ways of going out there to motivate and inspire, because with COVID going on, it's really the unknown of like what events and what things we can do, because it's really hard to say, hey, we're going to do an event with all these different restrictions coming in. So what we're really doing is utilizing the social network right now, getting on there, doing Instagram Lives. So if you check me out at Cyberchuck 2.0 or Team Cyber Yoga or Cyber Yoga, you can find like Instagram Lives where we're going on there and talking to motivate and inspire and put a smile on people's faces.
And so Terri, you've been inspired lately, so I'm glad. Anytime you're happy, I'm happy.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good thing. All right, so talk about this music video, because part 2. So you only got a chance to do nothing.
Huh?
You got a chance to do nothing because of who?
What do you mean I got a chance to do nothing?
The music video.
I didn't. What do you mean?
What did Cardi B do?
Oh, I forgot about this story. So we were supposed to film this video on Sunday, and Cardi B had rented the studio to do her video prior to us, and they went overtime, so we got pushed back because they wouldn't get out of the studio. So we spent all Sunday kind of waiting around for them to get out of the studio, so we had to push the shoot to yesterday. So, but it was kind of funny because we got, booted for Cardi B.
Yeah, so. Interesting.
Well, she probably was cleaning up with a bucket and a mop.
Yep.
So.
Exactly. One last time, social media for Scosche.
Scosche.com and Scosche on Instagram. A lot of cool videos on there, especially with this HEPA and the fogger. We've come up with some really funny videos. So if you get a chance, go on Scosche.com or follow us on Instagram.
Scosche. On your book, documentary.
All my social media is all just my name. So Vince Spinnato, which is SPINNATO. Vince. Even my grinder is. But no, I'm just kidding. I don't have a grinder account. but you can find everything. Everything is Vince Spinnato.
And before you forget, you forgot to ask what mine was.
I don't care.
Oh, well, they do.
We care. All right, tell them. I care.
Tell
my
them, go ahead.
website is terrimarieofficial.com, and then my social media for TikTok and Instagram and for Twitter is nonstop Terri Marie.
I'm really trying to throw her off, but no, she deserves a lot of credit for what she's doing. She's been very good so far this year.
She's been hunting bears last week.
Yeah, I was hunting bears instead of rabbits.
That's right. She comes in with a bear coat next week. You know what's going on.
So I want to thank everybody for this show. So this is our warm-up, and then we're going to have our live. But as I always say, because we need it, if you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More, and we will see you next week.